Hello, I'm Kathy McCaskins, and this is New 6. Today, the students of the Grand Rapids 6th grade building of the Otsego District will present features on the Custer Homestead, the Grand Rapids Fadathon, and an exclusive interview with Dominic Lavino, internationally famous glass artist. And now, here's Cindy Rowe with the lead story.
Recently, Dominic Lavino and his wife, Libby, graciously invited Grand Rapids 6th grade student Joel Huffman to the Lavino studio. Joel had the opportunity to ask Mr. Lavino about his training, his craft, and his career.
Where did you get your education at?
I went to Carnegie Institute of Technology, which is now called Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh.
Do you know how many patents you have?
Over 60.
How many foreign museums display your glass?
Well, Mrs. Lavino can answer that better than I could.
In order to get an idea about foreign museums, I think it would be a good idea to mention some of them rather than just to give a cold number. He has glass in the Victoria and Albert in England and in the Pilkington Glass Museum, and in Holland. In Germany, he has pieces in the Frankfurt Museum, the Berlin Museum, Hamburg, and Dusseldorf. He has glass in the National Museum in the Philippines, and a piece in Sydney, Australia, in the museum there, and, well, several other countries, but that gives you an idea.
How many museums in this country have your glass?
Again, Mrs. Lavino could do a better job.
Well, his glass is in the permanent collection of over 100 museums, and also in some of the colleges and universities where there are permanent collections or where there is an art gallery.
I might add that we just recently shipped one to Smithsonian in Washington, a significant piece. They have several pieces of our glass. You ever hear of Smithsonian?
Have you ever taught classes?
Yes, I taught at Bowling Green for one semester to get them started.
What other kinds of art are you interested in?
Well, I used to do some painting and enameling and some wood carving.
Are your formulas written down or known only to you?
They are written down methodically. Each furnaces have their own date and all the chemicals that I use, so I can duplicate them. And that doesn't mean you can always duplicate them.
Thank you very much, and I'm Joel Hoffman from Otsego Schools.
We want to thank the Lavinos for their time and information, and we want to thank Joel for his interview. But getting back to our school, there's quite a few things going on there. The Grand Rapids 6th grade building is quite unique because it's one of the few buildings that houses only one grade. We are also one of the few 6th graders that have a house teacher and a regular health class. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mr. Larry Coughout talks about disease and microorganisms. Most of us enjoy the class. Some of us have wondered what other 6th graders are doing in other school districts. This is why we plan to be pen pals and exchange classes with a 6th grade class from Rossford. We will go to Rossford and attend classes with them, and they will do the same at Otsego. Hopefully, we will make some new friends. Now here's Betsy Spittler with more news from the Grand Rapids 6th grade building.
Thank you, Cindy. Some of the teachers in our school thought they were fat, so they decided to have a fadathon. They all wrote down the amounts of pounds they wanted to lose. The students pledged 10 cents per pound that the teachers lost. This money would go to the funds being raised so the 6th grade could go to Camp Hio. The teachers pledged if they didn't lose the amount they wrote down, they would do something silly at our school's gong show later in the year. They planned to do a fat skit or a fat cheer at that show. Quite a few students at Grand Rapids have collections, such as beer cans, arrowheads, and stamps. One student, Shad Zolch, has been collecting arrowheads for over 3 years. Some pieces of the collection is over 1,000 years old. But the students in Grand Rapids are not the only people who have collections. Mr. Burns and Mrs. Burns of the town collect such things as old desks, books, and hat pins. They also have a 3-foot dollhouse, plaques, and a full set of dumbbells. And now here's Shad Schultz to tell you more about the Grand Rapids area.
Around Grand Rapids, there are several sites that attract tourists, including Haskins School Bell and the Grand Rapids Town Hall, which was used at one time as an opera house. More famous, however, is the Bluebird Special, which is a steam engine which runs between Grand Rapids and Watertown. It runs all year with the exception of the cold winter months. But most tourists come to see the homestead of General George Armstrong Custer. It's located on Tontogany Creek Road between Opperman and Cross Creek Roads. On a more serious note, here's a 6th grade editorial. The heating system at Grand Rapids 6th grade building isn't very good. In some of the rooms we used electric heaters for warmth until the custodians put plastic over some of the windows, which keeps most of the cold air out of the room. We do have alternatives such as solar heating, but to do this it would take a lot of remodeling or a whole new building. Instead of doing all the remodeling, we will just dress warmer and try to cope with the situation. And now back to Kathy.
That's the news from the students of the Grand Rapids 6th grade building. And from everybody at Grand Rapids and Otsego, have a good day.